So, if H2O was for Thea 500 Twitter, this one, Polaris, this one was for the man them. H, Polaris EP. Run it. I feel like my path to H's music was weird and a bit different. I actually found H in a Westwood Crib session with 40 and Samurai, where he was just there and he had a really good verse in that crib session. So I'm like, yeah, I like his music, and I've kind of been following along since then, which is quite weird. I feel like my path to his music was quite different, and I feel like the kind of cheeky persona as a rapper and kind of how braggadocious he can be, and actually quite funny he can actually be at times, is what makes him stand out to me as a rapper and as an artist, the kind of charisma he has. Before I move on to the project itself, like and subscribe. If this quite isn't for you, take a look at the playlist of all my other reviews that I've got going on this channel. So, to move on to the project itself, I felt H2O was just a bit flat. Well, not just a bit flat, it was very flat. There was not really much interesting going on lyrically or anything like that. A lot of the song structures were pretty stale, and it was just your usual pop rap stuff. But he doesn't really have all the charisma and all the character that I kind of liked him for in the beginning. But I feel like he really brings that back with this project, and I like it. He's just really cheeky with a lot of his lines and a lot of how he delivers them as well, and that's what I liked across this project. I really like Safe to Say as an open to this EP, and funnily enough, a way I haven't really felt about listening to H's music for a long time, I really had my screw face on. Like, it was that sort of a song, which, I don't know, I haven't had that from H in a while, and it was nice to have that back. Especially with lines like this.
Young and rich, but their engine's big, so they won't insure me. The lady out there told me it's way too much, go for something smaller. I said, nah, it's a myth, I'm trying to make the estate know when I cut that corner. Get love on the streets, cause they doing me when I drop you a beat. Flick on the rhythm and put it.
The cockiness and the bravado really all comes back, and it really is nice on this song, and not just this song, across the entire EP. I feel like he really brings that back with him, and it just needs more of it. I feel like H2O would have been better if you had the pop rap stuff, but you still had that same attitude and that same cheekiness, and you're still that kind of cocky bastard that everyone kind of liked you for. I feel like he kind of brings back old energies of just shelling down a tune. Like when he used to do kind of grime sets on Radar Radio with Argue, he brings that sort of essence back as well. And I think it really plays well for him here. And I do think there's something he should tap into more in the future, because I don't know about me, but I feel like a lot of fans who didn't like H before would have enjoyed this project a lot more than H2O. The songs 30 and Raw, they feel really good for the same reasons as the last one that I talked about in a bit more depth. All those things that I said in terms of praise of that song, the same thing applies with those two songs as well, and that's the reason I like them. The beats are just a lot more interesting on this thing as well. Zombie has kind of like a mariachi trumpet melody on the melody of this one, and I like kind of like how he flips it and the flows that he uses on it, that he bounces around on quite well, and it's still got that kind of braggadocious style to it, that kind of cheeky cockney lad sort of vibe. I do feel like the beats on this are a lot more interesting as well. For example, Zombie has that cool mariachi trumpet melody to it, and I do feel like his flows are just a bit more engaging as well. I feel like previously he'd sound a bit monotone at times, like his tone of voice doesn't really change, so it doesn't really show much kind of personality or emotion in these sort of places. But I feel like that problem is not anywhere on this EP, and I feel like these songs that I'm going to talk about next are songs where it really shows that he's just dropped that whole thing. The cheeky 90s R&B Destiny's Child sample on Triggered, yet again, it's just something that means the instrumentals are just a bit more, well, I wouldn't say a bit, a lot more interesting to listen to, which means how everything comes across in terms of his vocal inflections on a lot of the tracks with his rap flows and how they kind of shift ever so slightly. They're just a lot more interesting, and you could just get with it a bit more.
Yeah. Came in a rave with the two mates, made a bust down like Blueface. Tried complaining at Tuesday, had to swerve that for the crew's sake. Had the club going up on a Tuesday, came through, take a one snap for a youth's waist. I ain't trying to chat about Tuesday, bro, I'd your bay, throw it back like a bouquet.
Funnily enough, Like Them is my favourite track, because I feel like this song is what the songs on H2O should have been. Yes, this is a bit more pop rap, But his character shows. It's not monotone. It's not flat. There's more to it. The bars are kind of there. Kind of cheeky one-liners. They're all in there. This is fun. If anything, it's actually fun. You know, you can have a boogie to it in a club, but you can also listen and catch some witty one-liners that will make you laugh and make you chuckle with your friends. I mean, music's supposed to be enjoyable, and you can definitely enjoy it. So this is probably why I like this one as a favourite overall. And it kind of caught me out that I didn't really think this one was my favourite across the entire thing, but really was for me.
Shorty whining like a baby in the cradle. Had a couple wines, she trying to shake it on the table. Baby girl, you fine, but there's a line and you're unstable. She don't even like me, but it's likely she'll be playful. Oh, Aitch, you kinda cute, you got a baby face. What? It's cause I haven't shaved today. Super flames will get my cape and then I save the day. Flexing in my super suit, I went and got it tailor-made.
Rain, however, it didn't land. Rain didn't really land for me. I feel like the instrumental was just kind of boring and quite bland. It's quite simple in a way. And I think that's just personally me. I'm just quite a fan of a bit more sophisticated beats as a whole. But I do understand that a lot of great beats are made that are just very simple in terms of the amount of layers that are needed to pull it off. But I just don't really feel like Aitch and AJ Tracey give very much to really fill the void and the gap that the beat kind of leaves. I feel like the flow is just quite carbon and cart. You know, I don't really feel like there's much energy in it either. It just didn't really interest me, the song. Overall, I'm going to give this a C+. Like, when Aitch actually gets his personality out over some interesting beats, it can show that he has always had good rap ability. It's fun to listen to. Like, it is fun. It is supposed to be fun. You're supposed to enjoy music. It doesn't have to be serious all the time. And Aitch kind of gives that to you. He gives you some crazy, witty and cheeky one-liners. He gives you some intricate flows of points where he can get a bit skippy with it and kind of show he can kind of shell down a tune like he used to once upon a time. Some areas I do feel are a bit flat. I do feel it doesn't quite pop out at you as much. And I do feel Rain just didn't really hit for me as a song. And even though the project concept itself, there isn't really one for this EP, it's still definitely enjoyable at the top of my C+ category. So yeah, that's what I thought of the album overall. So if you're watching at this point, it means you watched to the end. Thank you very much. I am kind of expanding the content at the moment. Your Free Yourself from Suffering series. Big Rants has probably just started. I went on a massive rant about the GRM Rated Award nominations because I thought they were complete shit. But if you kind of like the general tone of how I do things, how I do these reviews, and generally how I am in videos, like and subscribe because I got plenty more stuff coming. Thank you for watching till the end. Thanks. Peace. See you in the next video.